boys and girls. Miss Siders here, and I am in the room with our next reader. And I bet as we look around, you can figure out who's going to be reading for us today, because there's only one room that looks like this one. Oh, let's see if we can find our reader. Oh, I think I found her. There she is.
Extra credit. Science time, said Miss D. Let's go over your tests. Stink took out his test. He tried to cover up the big red X on the Pluto page with his elbow, in case Nick, the new kid in front of him, turned around. Stink stared at the back of the new kid. His head looked a little like a small, almost round planet. Just then, Miss D got a call from the principal. Okay, class, everybody take out your math notebooks and open to page 101. Keep working while I go talk with Miss Tuxedo. Teacher got sent to the principal's office, somebody snickered. Planet head Nick turned around. Nick showed Stink his test, and Nick had a big, fat red X on the Pluto page just like Stink. I got skunked, said Planet Head. Me too, said Stink, lifting up his elbow. At my old school, said Nick, Pluto was still a planet. This is so not fair. Tell me about it. I was with the nurse getting my ears checked when Mrs. D told everybody about the no planet rule. And nobody, not even my best friends Webster and Sophie of the Elves, told me. You can call me Skunk, by the way, said Nick. And you can call me Stink, said Stink. I thought I was the only person on the planet with a smelly name. Nope, and guess what? I like smelly stuff, just like my name. Me too, said Stink. I was in a smelly sneaker contest at my old school, said Skunk. No way, said Stink. I got to judge a super smelly sneaker contest. I smelled a durian fruit one time, said Skunk. It's like the way worst smell in the world. P.U., said Stink. I want to smell a corpse flower someday. Freaky deaky, said Skunk. Double freaky deaky, said Stink. At my old school, said Skunk, back when there was still 9 planets in the solar system, my science book had this neat trick about how to remember them. My very excellent mother just served us 9 pizzas, they said at the same time. Now they'll have to think up a new one, said Skunk, without the P for Pluto. Let's see, said Stink. How about my very excellent mother just served us nothing? Skunk cracked up. My very excellent mother just said, you nerd, said Sophie, joining in. Many vampires eat mothballs, just so you know, piped up Webster. Those aren't even the right letters, said Skunk. Many vampires, said Webster, eat macaroni jelly sandwiches, said Sophie. Unless naked, Stink finished. Skunk laughed. Hey, that doesn't even make sense. Wait, I got it, said Stink. My very educated monkey just spoke utter nonsense. Good one, said Skunk. You get extra credit for that one. I wish, said Stink. Hey, we should make up a new saying for real to remember the planets, including the 3 dwarf planets. You mean Ceres, Pluto, and Eris too? asked Sophie. My brother says there's another one too, called Make, said Webster. Stink's head was spinning around with all these names. He wrote 11 letters across the top of his notebook. MVEMCJSUNPE. Then scribbled down words. My very eager mad cat just scratched up nose-picking earwigs. Now Sophie and Webster tried it. My very edible macaroni cheese just spit up nasty puking eyeballs. Stink and Skunk howled and then put their heads together and came up with another saying. My very energized mystery car just shot under 9 police escorts. That is so way good, said Sophie. When Mrs. D came back, kids were talking loud and letting the class guinea pigs run loose and shooting hoops in the trash can. Mrs. D blinked the lights a few times and she clapped her hands 5 times. Class 2D took their seats and then clapped their hands 5 times in response. Did anybody solve any problems while I was gone? Said Miss D. Nobody said a word. Stink passed a note to his friends. Many Virginia excited math children just screwed up not practicing education. Skunk shot his hand up. Ooh, we did. Stink and I solved a problem. Good for you, said Miss D. Now, which one was it? We solved the Pluto problem. The Pluto problem? Mrs. D flipped through the pages of her teacher's edition math book. It's not a math problem, it's a science problem. Oh, well, even better, said Mrs. D. It's time for science anyway. Stink and Skunk told the class all about the new saying that they made up. Riley Rottenberger raised her right hand. She was wearing a shirt that said Space Cadet, and she called out, "Ooh, ooh," like she had a major stomach ache or some kind of emergency. Riley, did you have something you wanted to say? By now, Mrs. D should have known that Riley Rottenberger always had something to say. There's a real saying for the dwarf planets, actually, said Riley. A girl made it up and won a contest, and it is not about a mystery car or police. It's my very excellent magic carpet just sailed under 9 palace elephants. Well, thank you for letting us know, Riley. That is very creative. Stink and Skunk came up with a creative sentence too, though. Riley shrugged and then made a sour ball face. Boys, why don't you come see me after class, said Miss D, and we'll see what we can do about those red X's. And that's all for today.